What up? What up? What up, world? It's your boy Shelvin.
What up? What up? This Clay.
Hey man, we in the building again for another podcast, another Chatterbox podcast, man. Man, I'm glad y'all tuning in with us, man. We here every week doing this thing, man. We just want to be a positive platform for the community, man, and definitely give a voice to the voiceless. And we do that by any means necessary. Listen, we gonna get into it in a minute, man. But I really want to know, did y'all do the homework? Don't worry. I'm going to wait a second, because I really want to know if anybody did the homework. Anybody do the homework? Let me know if anybody did the homework on today. The homework was, because last week, what we talked about, Clee?
Positive affirmations. We were doing manifestations, and you had to either do something that was going to actually positively impact your life.
Yeah, so that's what we did last week, and Clee did give homework. What did you do on last week? I told y'all, whatever you do that is in regards to a positive affirmation this week is going to begin to reflect. I'm telling you, by the end of this year, whatever positive affirmations you put in the air is going to begin to reflect itself in your life. And I just want to know, what positive affirmation did you do this week? You can put it in the chat. Help me out. I want to know if you did any positive affirmations this week. Some of us didn't do no positive affirmations. Our whole week was kind of negative. How many times did you cuss out the drive-through lady? How many times did you pull up on somebody that you shouldn't have pulled up on? What negative affirmation? I want to know both of them, actually. I want to know both of them. I don't want you to, I don't want to negate dealing with the negative affirmation, because we got to deal with those too. Some of us just got some negative stuff on, some negative energy coming out of us, and we got to deal with that stuff. So what negative affirmation did you do this week? But I really want to know, what positive affirmation did you put in the air this week? Did you tell yourself in the mirror you were beautiful? Did you tell yourself in the mirror you go be the head and not the tail? Did you tell yourself in the mirror that you go be above and not beneath? What positive affirmation? Did you just write something on a sticky note and stick it at your desk at work and in your cubicle? What did you do this week that is in regards to a positive affirmation? What's up, love? We here. I'm curious. I want to know what y'all did this week. Don't get quiet. Don't sit there and just look at the screen and see what we talking about. We talking about you.
Well, a lot of times people utilize like those little hand notes or something like that that has some type of positive affirmation on it, like let's be positive or whatever. Some people have like sticky notes or anything of that nature. So you got to try to use those type of things to incorporate it and download in your spirit. So for the most part, I actually use a journal. I'm just gonna be transparent with me. Like I said last Monday, I use a journal or something of that nature. So because I like to make my stuff tangible, I like to write it down, something I can actually hold and touch. I know for sure that I'm gonna at least go back and look at it at least maybe twice, 3 times a week or whatever. So I know to keep it on my mind. Sometimes if you make things like a I don't know what word I'm looking for at that point, but like a something that's repetition. It'll get stuck. If it's up there, it's gonna stay there.
Yeah, if it's up there, it's stuck there.
Yeah, for sure,
man. So this, I want y'all to do me a favor, man. I know it's Monday, man. The Monday after Resurrection Sunday, man. For sure. He is risen, man, and we had an awesome time at the Faith Church yesterday. If you wasn't at the Faith Church yesterday, you missed an awesome message, man. Oh, yeah. You Won't Forget Me was the title of the message, man. And Pastor Dixon did his thing, man. Y'all got to get out and get to the church, man. I know you probably got church hurt or whatever you're dealing with, but man, I'm telling you, I want to encourage you to just try it one more time. Give Jesus a true try one more time. You probably was too young to realize what you were going through. You probably didn't even know it was probably working against your call. It was probably working against your purpose that God has for your life. And so I just want to say I had a great time over this Easter. Had a blast, man. Say the kids was out there doing Easter egg hunts. I don't know about y'all, but then none of the kids seemed to make it back to any other cars with any candy.
Oh, they had money eggs. That's what they had.
They were happy, but the candy
disappeared. Me immediately.
I was like, hey, what y'all do with the candy?
Put it in there. My son wasn't even hunting. He got that one egg. That was it.
That was it. He just got him some money.
Open.
Yeah. I could dig it. I could dig it. I realize how blessed I am, and it makes me happy. I already. Quay say blessings on my kids' life. I know that's right, man. Sure. I know that's right, man. Me. I woke up every day, man, and said to myself, man, today is going to be a great day. I didn't care how I felt about it. And some of those days, I didn't even feel like it was going to be a great day, but because I said it, it started to change in my perspective on how I seen the day, because it was already a great day because I woke up. You know what I'm saying? It was already a great day because God gave me another opportunity to give him glory. It was already a great day. And a lot of times we don't appreciate the days that God gives us. Like today, a lot of us woke up this morning and we were like, shoot, I don't know about y'all. Maybe that was just me. I was like, man, Lord, it's heavy.
Monday.
It's heavy today.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah. It was heavy today. I'm telling you. But I began to speak some stuff. And once I began to speak some stuff, I began to believe some stuff. And when I began to believe some stuff, all that other stuff started looking small. And what I began to believe started looking big. See, these are positive affirmations for our life. And you got to do that, especially as black men and black women in this world. You got to do positive affirmations. We are probably one of the only cultures that actually have so much derogatory music and so much derogatory terms for ourselves that, shoot, it's hard for us to find positive affirmations in life.
And you know, and that's another thing. You know, for the most part, it's nothing to actually talk about what we actually listen to, but you got to know that that actually plays a part. It plays a major part in what you're gonna do and how you perceive yourself, or what you, like you just said, on how you gonna see the day. Right. So if you walk up, if you go to work jamming Boosie, it's gonna set, you gonna set it off when you walk in the door. So
sure, you already
you gotta find another way, or just get another mindset on how you gonna get up in the morning. You know, like I said, good morning, gorgeous, or something. You gotta do something different.
But nobody to say nothing to me. I'm late. So what? You know, but we are something else. But man, listen, I want to know what positive affirmation. I'm gonna keep on repeating that throughout the show. I want to know what positive affirmations we did throughout the week, man, because I really want to encourage you on today that your positive affirmation is working. It's working on your behalf, and it's working for your good. I don't care what you said this week. If it was positive, I want to hear it. Because you might encourage me on today. It might be something that I missed that I probably need to incorporate in my next week and this week right here that'll be positive. I want us to do this. I want us to do this for the rest of the month.
Right. And see, the good thing about that is, it's like I was saying though, if you make it tangible and like you actually write it down or have you a little sticky note, you're gonna pass that off to somebody else. Right. Somebody's gonna open your door or walk in your room or your house, in your bathroom, and see that you have all that positive stuff going on in your life, and they're gonna try to incorporate that in theirs. And then, you know, you actually, it's like an olive branch. It's just gonna keep running off. It's gonna roll down. Everybody, it's gonna trickle on down. Right. Everybody's gonna be, what it does is it's gonna progress your own circle. Yeah. So your circle don't become a square. It's gonna be a circle. So because everybody's building, you want to alleviate that elbow energy and make it shoulder energy. You know what I mean? Right. You want everybody to be together. Like, so if I'm doing something, it's what they say, birds of a feather flock together. So you know, when you're doing those type of things, it's gonna run off into your whole circle. And it's gonna run right back.
But you got to be aware that somebody just not gonna like it. I'm telling you the truth. Somebody is just gonna be mad that you happy. It's going to be somebody out there that's going to be, I'm talking about, mad at you because you got joy. It's going to be somebody out there that's going to be trying to alleviate your smile. You got to understand that that's what happens. You can't have positive affirmations and not expect negative opposers. You can't have positive. Just because you're speaking positively don't mean that negativity won't come at your front door. It's going to happen. But don't get discouraged. If negativity comes through your positive affirmations, then that's confirmation that you're going in the direction God wants you to go. So don't get discouraged. Don't turn your head on yourself. Don't get down on yourself. You got to have faith enough to believe that what God has placed in you, he shall perform. The Bible says that this great work that I began in you shall be performed until the day of Jesus Christ. You got to understand that. What's up, baby? Man, my boy rolled up in here, man. So glad to see you, Doc. Looking good, man. Looking good. How was your Easter? It was good. It was good? He is risen. I know that's right, man. Man, so it was a good Easter for me too, fam. We enjoyed ourselves. What's up, Deesh? What's up, everybody that's on here? Jaquay. What's up, everybody that's on here? Sorinthia. I'm gonna say your name wrong. I hope you don't get offended. You gonna have to help me speak that. But what's up, everybody, man? Glad to have y'all on here. Deisha Lee, did you do the homework that Clee assigned for us this week about positive affirmations? Did you speak any? What positive affirmation did you, I don't want to just call you out or nothing, but what positive affirmation did you do this week? Did you do the homework, my boy?
Yeah.
You did? What positive affirmation did you do this week?
Like speak over my life.
Yeah.
I mean, my positive affirmation this week was, if I can do it, you can do it. That was my positive affirmation.
Already.
Right.
Already. And then whenever it sounds in your head, man, it makes you want to do more.
Right.
It makes you want to do more. I don't know about y'all, but when I encourage people, it encourages me.
For sure. That's why I said it's gonna trickle out. It'll download in your spirit, even if you're helping somebody else. I mean, you get that type of situation in when you're doing those type of things.
Right.
It just you continue to build. You continue to build. Yeah.
But if you let negativity be the speech that's on your tongue, I guarantee you negativity is gonna be the resemblance of your life.
Right.
It's definitely gonna reflect in your life being negative. What you do, Deej, let me know what you did. Because we on here, we trying to encourage somebody else today. It's Monday after, I don't know about y'all, but I was tired, man. It was a long weekend. I enjoyed it. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
But man, shoot, it was a whole bunch of get up and go and sit down and for a second, then hop back up. I don't know about y'all.
But you know the great thing about Resurrection Sunday is that everybody put their best drip on. It's drip. I think I'm gonna name it Drip Sunday. They bring that drip on Sunday on Resurrection Sunday.
I know that's right, man.
Your Easter best.
Yeah, man. They pulled out the best, forget the rest, man. It was all right, man. What was your Easter like, man?
Easter was good. It was great.
I had that barbecue.
I had to work.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Right after church.
Lord, have mercy. That was kind of rough. That was kind of rough. Encouraged myself in positive ways. Spoke all positive things. That's what's up, Deesh. We speaking positive on today. I'm not sure we're gonna have a whole bunch of people on this podcast because Easter was yesterday, and shoot, people still trying to catch their balance from the weekend.
Right.
A lot of people. Yo Gotti was in town. EJ fought. It was a lot of stuff going on this weekend. So a lot of people still trying to catch their balance from this weekend, and that's fine. We just go be that conversation that you have before you go to bed tonight that'll help you get further into your week, that'll motivate you on tonight to say, you know what, I can make it through.
That's it.
I can do it.
That's it.
Because you can do it. You can make it through. I guarantee the situation is not as bad as it looks. Even though it may look bad, I guarantee you God is going to work it out for your favor. And these are the positive affirmations that we speaking all month. I'm doing it all month. I don't know about y'all, but this is one thing that it's become a part of my lifestyle.
Right. I was just about to say that you got to incorporate it in your daily life.
Yeah, it's become a part of my lifestyle.
Done daily. Yeah. That way, even if you are going through some type of negative circumstance, you can actually push yourself out of it.
Right. And that's so powerful when you can speak to stuff even though you don't see it. That's why the Bible says speak those things that are not. As though they are. I mean, you got to believe it so much so that it's like sitting on a chair. You are confident, and when you sit on that chair is going to hold you up. That's how powerful your positive affirmations have to be in your life. That when you speak those things will hold you up. Those things will take you higher. Those things will help you see clearer. Those things will help create your life that you're looking for. You got something in your head that you have been seeing when you lay down at night. And I'm telling you, if you don't speak those positive affirmations, it's going to be hard to bring that thing to pass. But if you start speaking those things, you don't understand the power you have in your tongue. I don't think you understand the power that's within your mouth. And you got to realize that you can speak some stuff into your life that you will not like, and you can speak some stuff into your life that you will love. We just go speak positive affirmations going into this week, going into this month, and hopefully going into your lifestyle. But man, listen, without further ado, man, I'm glad that y'all did the homework, man. I appreciate y'all doing the assignment. Hopefully it works for your good. Miss Pat Wallace, did you do the homework? We had homework on last week to speak positive affirmations. What positive affirmations did you speak over your life? I just seen you tap in. I ain't trying to point you out. I just want to hear what you're saying.
And it can be something small as like a social media post. Like, you can just, hashtag it's my season. That's what I did. You know, you got to speak those type of things into your life. You do that
every day.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. I put on Facebook one of these days last week. I put on Facebook, stars are only revealed in darkness. And maybe the reason God has allowed everything around you to go dark around you is so people can see the star within you. Right. You got to let your light shine. Right. I know how dark situations work. I'm not tripping about dark situations, but I don't get down in dark situations no more. I usually let dark situations, kind of triangulate how I feel or create the direction in where I go. But now dark situations is just, shoot, I'm finna shine. I ain't tripping. Matter of fact, I cut my light on higher. Right. When it get, the darker it get, the brighter I shine, baby. That's what a star does. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what a star does. But so we go get into the topic of discussion, man. The topic of discussion for today, man. So today we want to talk about constraints versus restraints. constraints versus restraints. What things are constraining you in your life? And I want to make sure that we understand the difference between constraints and restraints, because a lot of people feel like they're being restrained from something when they're actually having a constraint in a situation.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't want to go into the definition of what constraint and restraint is, because it's a whole bunch of words. A lot of people don't really want to hear that. But this is the example. I'm gonna give you an example of what constraints is and restraints. So y'all ready for this? So constraints are more like barriers.
Right.
Constraints are more like barriers. Restraints are more like leashes.
Okay.
You see the difference? You see the difference?
Is a restraint something you can control, right?
Restraints, well, that's something. No.
It's like a limit. It's somewhat of a limit, right?
Right. Well, put it like this: a restraining order is something that you caused, but you didn't control.
Right.
You can't control how that restraining order go treat you. A restraining order is to hold you back,
right,
from going into somebody else's stuff. A restraining order. So, like a dog is on a leash, he's restrained. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, you see them dogs in the yard, they on a leash, they got the little old metal thing spent into the yard. Right. He's restrained from going in certain situations. He's restrained from going a certain distance.
Okay.
And it's because most of the time those restraints are to keep the dog from getting out the gate, to keep the dog from biting somebody. See, restraints are something that you have to fight to get out of. Constraints is something that you have to fight to get over.
Okay.
So this is the difference between constraints and restraints, and we're gonna talk about it, man, because I really want you to understand the difference between what you're going through, because some things are just constraints, they are not restraints. And a lot of us get discouraged when we experience constraints in our life, constraints in our ministries, constraints in our job, constraints in our relationships, constraints in everything that we have, constraints in who we are as an individual. And I really want us to understand the difference between constraints and restraints, because one of them is to hold you back,
right,
but one of them is to prevent you based on how you see it from going forward.
Right. So it's what you see it as far as like, even with the dog chain, like if you think about it, some dogs they actually accept it, so it's their life.
Right.
It's their life.
Some dogs should accept it, because them suckers bad. Suckers will bite you. You know what I'm saying? But constraints are very, very powerful, because all you got to do is remove the strain out of constraints, and all you got is a con. You got to realize that some of the stuff that you're looking at is only to trick you and to make you think that you can't get no further, to make you think that there's no way out, to make you think that there's no way over. But I don't want you to be constrained in this season. I don't want you to look at. I want you to change your whole way that you look at constraints from going forward in your life right now. And we finna talk about constraints. If you could think of one constraint, now that you have a definition of constraint, if you could think of one constraint that you have in your life, what would it be?
I mean, to me, for the most part, like I think constraints, it's perception. For the most part, it's perception. So sometimes it's what you see things, or just like what you said. And I'm just reiterating in a way to where I can understand it.
Right.
So I'm gonna say the one thing we all have is our own ideology. Like it's how we see it. So like beefs ain't beefs, or negativity ain't negativity till you see it. So like, some people, like, I was just looking at like an interview where somebody was saying that on this stage of my life and this platform that I've received, that I don't look at things in a negative manner, because I've gotten to a point where I can't address those things. Like, because then if that's the case, I don't take advantage of where I am in my life right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's just like you being a boss, right? And then you have a disgruntled worker. If you take your time to address everything about that disgruntled worker, what are you going to get done? Nothing. Nothing. And the whole goal is for you to get him to do the job. You know what I'm saying?
And it'll look like a constraint.
Right.
It'll look like a constraint. What you got?
I really can't think of no constraints on my life. I've looked at it like he did. It's the perception of how you look at it.
Right. And it is a perception. And so, man, when I think of constraints, man, I know one thing that actually constrained me is, when I go to looking for, better direction, when I go to looking at where God is taking me to compared to where I'm at, when I go to, looking at, because it looks like a mountain. But I have to remind myself that mountains are made to climb. I have to remind myself that hills are made to get over. I have to remind myself that speed bumps are made for you to slow down but not stop. And so a lot of times when because I see great things, right? And I mean, for myself, I don't know about you, but I hope you see great things for yourself. But when I look at those things, I look at, for one, my lack of resources. My lack of resources. Because lack of resources will make you doubt opening a business.
Right, so is it okay? So break that down for me. So is that a constraint or a restraint?
It's a constraint,
right? Because a lot of times, if you look at it in situations, we think we have a lack of something.
Right.
We don't have a lack of anything if you're not paying attention. Like in certain situations, you can say that, hey, I didn't take advantage of where I am in my life right now because I wasn't resourceful. You know what I mean? It depends on how you play with it.
Yeah, and so lack of.
Now that you say that, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we started.
That'd be my main thing. Like, dang, how mama, I see
Right.
where I see it, like give you a glimpse of it.
Right.
And now it's like, now, okay, boom. And how do you do it? Like, how do
Right. And see, what we gotta understand is God is not the type of God to show us something that we can't achieve.
Facts. You know
He's not the kind of God that comes to you and plays tricks on you at night in your dreams to show you great things about yourself, show you great places about yourself, and He doesn't expect for you to be able to get there.
Right. It's like, what are you doing with your talents that I gave you?
Right. Right. And so we got to realize that a lot of stuff that we look at as big to us is not big to God. Right. Lack of information is another one.
Right.
Lack of information. See, a lot of times, so matter of fact, a lot of us are at jobs right now that we're not even qualified for. I just want to put that out there, let y'all know. We not qualified for a lot of the jobs that we working in because we don't have the necessary information that we need to actually operate in that job. But you still got the job. Right. You still doing what you can do.
Right.
You still making a way out of no way, but that's all God. But a lot of times we'll look at that constraint and it'll stop us from filling out the application.
Right.
It'll stop us from making that next move. Like some of us get opportunities to move to different states. But because of the lack of information, ain't nobody that I know.
Right.
You know, where am I going to stay? What am I going to do on the weekends? The lack of information. So you're lacking information, which is causing a constraint on you.
Right.
And so you're not encouraged, you're not motivated to go where God's taking you. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Right. So a lot of times lack of information can cause us to just stop. And we'll look at a constraint as a restraint. Right. But it's not a restraint. It's not holding you back. The only thing holding you back is the way you seeing it.
Yeah, it's you.
Because you're looking at it wrong, right? And I mean, I just want to open up the door, man. What constraints do y'all have on y'all life that y'all mountains are made to climb? I like that, bro. Yes, Nikki, they are made to climb. And we got to start looking at mountain. Every mountain in your life, you got to look at it as either go move or you go climb it. Right. Whichever one you need. If you not moving, I'm climbing you. I'm guaranteeing it. I'm not finna sit here and because it's better to climb up that mountain than remain in that valley. Right. Because I know one thing that's in the valley is a whole bunch. You got to realize the higher you go up the mountain, the less pissed it's up the mountain. See, snakes can only go up a certain amount of height. They can't go all the way up there to the mountain with you, and you can keep staying in that valley and dealing with them snakes all you want to. I would rather climb that mountain and deal with some eagles. I'd rather climb that mountain and deal with something up there because I'm sick and tired. I've been in the valley long. I don't know about y'all, but I've been in the valley all my life. It's time for me to go to another level. It's time for me to go to another level. Sure. You got to speak that over your life. Right now, I just want everybody to put in the comments, say on the podcast, it's time for me to go to another level.
Time for me to go.
I'm done with the valley. Right. I'm done with the valley. I'm done with dealing with snakes. I'm done with dealing with possums. I'm done with everybody dealing with possums. I think we seen a possum yesterday. I think we seen a
So like, and we just talking about constraints though. So let's break that down. So you got ideology, perception, and what else can actually constrain you?
Shoot, motivation.
That's just like we said,
manifesting it. This morning we woke up, bro. I'm telling y'all, I had in my mind, I am not really wanting to go to the gym. I ain't gonna lie to you. The weekend was heavy, but God said, man, you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? And then I messed up and I spoke it on the podcast. I said, man, I can't lie to nobody. And it came out my mouth, and so I had to put it into action. See, once it come out your mouth, that's why a lot of people be real timid about what they say.
Right, because you have to back it up.
If you back your word.
Right.
You know, some people ain't about their word.
Well, true.
They just say anything.
But accountability is a major part of it.
It is. It is a major part of it. But what we got to realize is constraints, or if you take the strength out of constraint, all you have is a con. Don't you let constraints fool you into thinking that you cannot do what God has placed in you. I guarantee you it's in you. You better ask Moses.
Right.
When he got to the Red Sea.
Well, just even think about that. Break that down. Like, even you thinking about Moses just in general, one thing that he actually struggled with was that he felt like he couldn't talk.
Couldn't talk.
So still, and then God supplied him with what? Here's Aaron.
Communication.
He gonna do talking for you, but he still was doubtful. He had to show him so many signs. Like, okay, bro, do you have it now? Or stop being constrained.
Say, I appreciate y'all for putting that in the comments. Y'all don't understand that y'all just made a positive affirmation. Y'all about to go to another level. Right. All of you who put this in the comments, you about to go to another level. I know it's not a whole bunch of people over here tonight, but we got who we need. This is more of a ministry to me. Shoot, I'm ministering tonight. We minister through this podcast. We encourage through this podcast. I thank y'all for putting that in there. But we got to realize that constraints ain't nothing but a con when you take the strain out of it. But if you take the con out of constraints, then you got a strain.
Right.
Because it's gonna be some stuff that you gonna have to strain to get through. You have to push through it. You gonna have to press through. Do you think that Paul didn't have any pressure on his life when he said, "I press toward the mark"? Right. Anything that requires you to press requires some pressure. I don't know about you, but sometimes pressure is good.
Right.
Sometimes pressure is good. Sometimes you won't even do it if it wasn't no pressure applied.
That's what I was telling somebody last night, Doc. I promise you I would. I said sometimes the negative stuff that we feel like we are trying to protect ourselves from be the very thing you need to get you to the next level.
I'm telling you.
To the next level. Like even with men.
Right.
Sometimes we be like, oh, I got a baby on the way. But then a lot of times you don't really grow up and mature until you have, I'm expecting. So guess what? Let me go out here and get me a job. And I ain't quitting this one. Because I don't have it. I don't have that option.
You ain't got that option no more.
I can't play like that. Look, Doc, I ain't trying to fight with you. I'm trying to be here tomorrow.
Say, you gonna support that child one way or the other.
Exactly.
And I'd rather it be that one way.
Exactly.
Instead of that other.
Exactly.
Because that other stressful. I am not lying.
So sometimes maturity come that way.
Maturity does come through pressure. And sometimes pressure will cause us to make decisions that we wouldn't normally make had that pressure not been applied to our life.
Right.
Especially in situations, because you just said something that was very powerful. You said what? After you get that baby pregnant, what is he doing? Expecting.
Yeah, expecting. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes we don't even have no expectations before we have pressure.
Right.
My God. See, that's good stuff. Sometimes that pressure actually encourages your expectation.
Right. Because you don't have no vision right there. You know what I mean? You
got vision.
But what you see it as what you got going on right now is just valid or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just look, I'm gonna go even further. It's the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's the stop sign where you're chilling there. It's the corner store.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have that vision. Yeah. But when them things like that happen, for sure. It's like, look, I'm gonna see y'all. Hey, I'm gonna catch y'all later.
Right.
You gotta keep going.
And sometimes you just got to get out of the mindset of accepting situations too, because sometimes we accept stuff and we settle for stuff that God never called for us to accept.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like just being a hood dude, like you just said, hanging at the stove.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just doing regular stuff like that. Sometimes you got to understand that is not what God called you to. God didn't create you in the world to hang at the fast food mart or be outside the corner store. That wasn't God. I promise you, unless you're doing ministry. That's just a avenue, or that's a platform for you to use. But I guarantee when God was creating whoever he was creating, if you on here tonight, he wasn't creating you to stand on the corner.
Right.
Not and stand on the corner and beg, not and stand on the corner and do all of the stuff that people that stand on the corner do. But he called you to do something greater than that. And the question is, what constraint do you have? What perception do you have on what's in front of you that's causing you to remain stagnant at where you're at?
Right, because we're drowning in mediocrity. Yeah. A lot of us, we're drowning in mediocrity if we don't do it.
Man.
You'll be comfortable with just being average Joe. You just Joe Blow.
Say, but God has a way of letting you know that you're not mediocre.
Man, say that.
He will put you in a situation, I'm telling you, he will let you know that your life was not designed, it was not created for you to be mediocre.
Right.
As a matter of fact, he puts us in those situations in order to push us.
Right.
And so the lack of information is another, man, say, it's powerful, lady, bro. It's powerful. You got to realize what God does. God does a lot of stuff for our good.
Right.
Because the Bible says that all things work
together.
for the good.
For sure.
Which means if it's not good, it ain't over.
Right.
So you got to keep on working that thing.
But that's the biggest misconception, that we feel like that when the negative circumstances or anything is happening at that moment, you realize, you feel like life is over, but it's not. It's not.
Right.
It's just, you still going through it. So sometimes you got to take yourself back. I'm gonna credit this to my coworker.
Right.
They pulled me to the side and said, "Grafton, what have you not learned yet?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, obviously you are still going through this because you haven't taken the time out to realize God is trying to send you a message. And you ain't even interpreted it.
You missed all the signs.
Yeah, I did. Guess what? Because I was constrained to my own perception.
Right.
I was drowning in my own mediocrity. It's like, okay, why is this happening to me and it ain't happening to nobody else?
Right.
Because like you said, we don't turn our own glasses on. We start looking at everybody else. Like, Joe Blow not going through that. He going, and I'm going through that. Or you could be like, just like you right now. I'm not in the wheelchair. You in the wheelchair, right? But guess what? I seen that you make good music. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I don't have it. I'm not counting no balls. You know, I'm just being real. You know what I mean? I don't have the patience for it.
I don't have the patience for it.
I'm not waiting on no other algorithm, no beat. It's not coming. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna sing whatever the kids are listening to, but that's it.
Right, man. For some reason, I am not able to share and tag, man. Would y'all do me a favor and share and tag tonight, man? I really want to make sure that we supporting everybody, encouraging everybody that we can. But it's not letting me to do it. Every time I put in the name, it just sit there. It don't even pop up the tag for it. But please, can y'all share and tag for tonight, man? It's really important that we get this out. So another thing that is a constraint to us is our lack of exposure.
That's true.
Lack of exposure.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. A lot of times when you grow up in the situations that most young men, black men, grow up in our culture, a lot of us grow up we're exposed to all of the wrong things.
Exactly.
And none of the right things. We say stuff like, this my block, this my street, not realizing that block or that street is not where you're even supposed to be hanging at, in a point of where you're dwelling.
Right, or we don't even own nothing about it. Yeah. That's the main thing.
Matter of fact, a lot of your partners' testimony is they died on that street.
Right, for sure.
And that's a testimony that goes, I don't know why we accept that, because I don't like that we accept the fact that we dying on the streets as that we glorify the fact that everybody dying on the freaking streets. That's not something for me.
Settling for mediocre.
Right. It's drowning your own mediocrity.
Right. It's bad. It's bad, though, because we accept that. It's not cool to me for somebody to die on the street without at least having experienced the life that God has for them.
Right.
Like, I mean, I would love to see my people smile. I love to see anybody smile. I love to see anybody enjoy life. And most of the time, in most of those situations, they rapping a little boost. They ain't got no mind. Welcome to the
a young boy
street nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. We got to do something better. And maybe, it's because a lot of us aren't going out and being influencers to them. We're not mentoring them. It's a great part, because for one, a lot of us too scary. Too scary, bruh. I'm just telling the truth, man. You too scared. You don't want to deal with them. A lot of us say, man, that they won't listen. Now, bruh, you don't want to talk to them.
Well, for sure. And I think what the problem is that sometimes we have a negative stigma on actually just giving back in a positive way. Like sometimes, like, it ain't got to do nothing with monetary. It's just like you said, you actually taking the time out to even do some type of mentoring.
Right.
Like even then, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I had my own struggles growing up too, Doc. And
Yeah.
So and when we had a purpose pusher, you could say, in my neighborhood,
right?
And every time he would walk over, we'd be like, "Oh Lord, here come Gil." You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? It took for me to grow up to realize I thank God for Gil, because like when I had my little situation, he's the first one to knock on my door and say, "Hey Doc, come outside."
Yeah.
Now I want to know. Okay, so since you experienced that, what is the next step and how do you feel about it?
Right. Right.
There was the questions that I needed somebody to ask me.
Right.
Because I didn't know.
Right.
I was just going through what you said. Like my blinders was on. I was just saying, okay, so something happened, and I'm here now.
Right.
What's
now
the
what
next
do I do?
Exactly. What's the next step?
Right.
Do you go into the negative? Do you bury yourself?
Yeah.
Going down.
Right.
Do you stay in the valley? Are you in the wilderness for 40 years?
Wow.
Or you don't realize that you go, okay, so I made the wrong turn. So
Right.
where's the right way?
Right. And that's what lack of exposure is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't have that answer. We don't have that direction. And it takes for somebody, for one, it takes for us to actually be wanting to listen.
Exactly.
But for two, it takes for somebody to get the courage enough to come to, because I'm telling you, coming from where I come, we was hard-headed.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Man,
we was rough.
Shit,
we
when I
was
tell
rough.
you, bro, that man fought for my own life, and I wasn't even fighting.
Right.
He knocked on the door, and he seen me look out the window like, dang, here come positive pal. And he's like, I seen you come outside. Because if I see you and you don't open this door, when I see you again, it's going to be some problems. I'm like,
Right.
okay. And I see it's getting real.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah.
Now, we finna have this dialogue. Man,
Right.
that's what I needed.
Right. But sometimes, that lack of exposure, it affects men just like it affects women too. You know what I'm saying? You got to have those positive platforms for women. I'm glad that so many women have stepped up in ministry.
Right.
I mean, you got women ministers stepping up, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Women gravitate more toward women ministries
man.
than they will toward men, because most of the time it's the men that cause them to feel the way they feel.
True.
Right.
Oh, because like that type of positivity or that type of influence is so strong for another woman to see her doing it.
Right.
Like, I just want to follow in the footsteps.
Right. And she got a testimony. Most of them women got a testimony. They've been molested. They've had miscarriages. They've had abortions. They've been in bad relationships. They've been in bad situations. And they're just giving their testimony, which helps women to realize if you can do it.
I can do it.
Right.
Ah!
And then, look, check this out. So a bad relationship can be a constraint.
Right.
'Cause a lot of times
Hold on, we ain't getting relationships yet. We almost there. See that? We finna get there. We finna get there. We
I'm
finna
ready to
get
lay
there.
that down. I'm ready to lay that down, Doc.
He finna go ahead and jump in the show. We almost done to the relationships part. Right now, we're talking about our own individual's life, because I want to make sure that the singles understand that they have constraints too.
Right.
As a single individual, one of the other constraints to our life can be lack of opportunities.
True.
Lack of opportunities. A lot of time, I believe it's a wise man that said that preparation, preparation, what?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Now, they're
Right.
pushing P's for real.
Right.
For real. That's pushing P.
That's the 5
Proper
P's.
preparation prevents poor performance.
That's good stuff, but lack of opportunities. So a lot of times we don't have opportunities where we come from.
But here's the thing. If you properly prepare yourself for the opportunity before you get there, you will create one.
Right. Right. But a lot of times we not properly preparing ourselves because we get caught in that constraint of lack of opportunity. It's a constraint.
Look, this is so positive right here. So look,
Right.
check this out. So when you positively affirm yourself in a way, you actually speak those things into existence. So what I did was, when I was coming through my little interim program, I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dress like I'm the boss every day.
Yeah.
To where when it comes, I'm gonna be already arrived. So even like my employees were like, dang man, why you dressing like that?
Yeah, man.
And I said, man, I read something in the book where it says, dress how you want to be addressed. So check this out, Doc.
Speak that, Doc. Say that one more time.
Dress how you want to be addressed.
Man.
So I was telling myself, I'm gonna lie to you, I'm Kevin Samuels all day. What he calling me? I don't know what it is. I can't think of it right now.
Kevin Samuels all day.
What is that he say about the
quality
men?
men.
Yeah, whatever that is. I said I was telling them that's me.
Yeah,
That's me.
yeah.
I ain't even there yet, but I'm like, that's
Hey,
me.
you better dress the part.
Look. Why you dressing like that, Graf? I said,
Say.
look, I'm gonna be the boss one day. So what I
Yeah.
did was I walked in and told my boss, I said, I'm gonna take your job.
Ooh, wee.
He looked at me like, what? So yeah, I'm gonna take your job.
Yeah.
Fast forward probably about 9-10 months later, boom, I come right back in the unit. I'm the boss. The lady at the job said, Welton, you know you told him that you spoke. I sure did.
Shoot.
I was going through one of them moments right there.
Dang,
You know, but
sometimes
I was
you gotta speak that,
I was
though.
in the valley, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have no other choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going through so much, you know.
Yeah.
Say, don't you know that's what David fought Goliath?
Facts.
In a valley.
Say that.
And he spoke to Goliath
Yeah.
in a valley. Sometimes you got to speak to your opposers in the valley.
Facts.
You got to speak in a valley because you don't realize how powerful. See, we get in valleys and we want to shut up.
Right.
In the valley is not the time when you shut up. You can be a little bit more quiet when you get higher. But while you in the valley, you better open your mouth and speak some positive affirmations. And don't speak what the valley want to hear.
Yeah.
Speak what the mountain want to hear.
Say that.
Because you going to have to get up that mountain. Like you just said, look, I got to dress how I want to be addressed.
Say that.
I'm just telling you right now, I don't want nobody to get offended. But if you walking around with sagging pants, guess how you want to be addressed?
Yeah.
If you walking around,
Like
you know,
one of them.
like I mean, I don't know if one of them is, that's. But I guess it is. I don't know.
That is because I'm not one of them.
Right, right. You have to dress how you want to be addressed. I like that. Man. My grandfather used to always tell me, you better play the position before you get in the position.
Right.
Because that way you'll actually be able to own the position when you get there. It won't be new to you. You already be properly prepared for the opportunity.
Right.
And so a lot of times we have lack of opportunities, not because the opportunity is not there.
Right.
But because we're not prepared. See, see how you just changed that constraint into, you just saw the in the constraint. So now you can take that strain and you can apply that to your life, and now you can create diamonds.
Say that.
Because of the pressure that you're applying to yourself. Sometimes you got to be the one to apply the pressure. You can't just wait for nobody to apply pressure to your life for you to get up and discipline yourself. Sometimes you have to be the one who applies that pressure.
Right. Sure.
I don't even know who I'm talking to, but somebody been waiting for somebody to apply some pressure that you should have applied to yourself a long time ago.
And I want to take this. Don't take the negative circumstance, the constraint, to restrain you. Like a lot of times.
Use it, Doc.
No, I'm saying though, because you get drowned in mediocrity so much, you become the bum on the corner with the beer in the hand, and you be like, oh, okay, he used to be something. I used to say it. So Joe Blow used to be something,
right?
But you get so asphyxiated with what's around you. You get so drowned in your own perception of what you see around your four corner, your 5 mile radius.
Right.
That's how you become, is the 5 miles.
Lack of exposure.
Yeah.
Lack of exposure. Yeah. Because if you can't see yourself going far, you ain't got to worry about getting there.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about even trying to go far because you don't see yourself. And sometimes you just got to get to a higher perspective on where you're at.
Right.
You can't look at the corner store as your boundary. You can't look at the corner store as your place where you just go every day. That's where you go land at.
So you get stuck and then you start going back down the list. I got a lack of resources. I got a lack of so and so. I got a lack of this.
I'm lacking this. And you don't even realize that you're really not lacking it.
Yeah.
Your perception is just against everything that God's for.
Say that.
And so now you're creating these constraints. And the last constraint that most of us, and this is just 5 of them. There's many more, but I didn't have time to go through all of them. There's many more. Lack of support.
Say that.
You keep on waiting for somebody to support your vision when God didn't give them the vision to support.
Yeah.
God gave you the vision to support.
Right.
And so you got to figure out what you need to do in order to get to where God gave you the vision to go.
Look, I don't mean to interject. So think about this. When you say lack of support, right? When you don't invest yourself in a situation or a circle, you'll never get that support because you're not giving. What you give gives back. It comes back.
Right.
What you give gives back.
Right.
So if, just like say we were in a circle, if I was to hold your hand, you got to hold somebody else's hand.
Right.
And he got to hold somebody else's hand. Guess what? It's going to come back. Somebody got to grab mine, dog.
Right.
So what I put, exactly. So what I push into you, it's going to come back this way, and somebody going to be, I'm going to be on somebody's mind where they're going to say, well, let me bless Cleve. Because he been doing so much that I'm going to touch you.
Yeah.
So you got to have that type of perception.
Right.
You got to have that type of perception that what I give, what I put in this universe, it's going to come back.
Right.
What I give to God, it's going to come back.
That's why we talking positive affirmations. That's why we was talking positive affirmations. It's so important to be positive. Applying big pressure on me. I know that's right. Dushiel. Sometimes you got to apply that pressure on yourself. We preaching tonight. We going in and speak. You got to speak to your mountains. You got to speak in your valleys. Don't you shut your mouth up on your situation. Don't you shut your mouth up on your circumstance. Don't you let your mouth be closed. See, the only thing that need to close his mouth is those lions that's in the den with you. You don't realize that God go shut the mouth of something that's trying to come against you as soon as you open your mouth to him. We got to realize who we are.
Right.
You got so much power within yourself. So lack of support. I know how important it is to have support.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
I'm with that.
Right.
I understand that. But God didn't call you to have support.
Or
God called you for him to support you.
Right. Or you not that person that you want that support from is not gonna give it to you.
No.
It's gonna come from a stranger. And that's when it's gonna be a real blessing though. Like, you know what I mean?
That's when you know it's God.
Exactly.
That's when you know it's God.
Because guess what Judy's supposed to do? Your mama supposed to touch your hand and rub your back.
That's what you supposed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not what you think it is. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get that type of support than what you want.
Right. A lot of times that's what it is, though.
Right,
we don't get the support we want, so we feel like we're not getting the support.
Right. And then you become so negative that nobody want to be around you.
Now you have just made something that's an opportunity into a constraint.
Right. Or opposition.
It's an opposition now. It's a constraint. It's a barrier.
Right.
Because the way you looking at it, you have taken the strain out of constraint and made it a con. It has tricked you into thinking that you can't go no further. And you can't let the lack of support. Some people just not go support you.
Exactly.
Let me just tell you right, some people just, and it be the main ones that you feel like should support you after all the times you came to their rescue. I'm sorry to be the messenger, but please don't kill a messenger. Some people who you support will not support you. I don't care how many times you showed up when their rent wasn't paid. I don't care how many times you showed up when they couldn't pay their telephone bill. I don't care how many times you showed up and helped them fight out that situation. They not go support you because they don't see your vision. They are not for you.
Right. Right.
They with you.
Right.
But they not for. See, you gotta don't confuse they with you. But just because they with you doesn't mean they're for you. You know those people that are for you when they call you and you didn't even ask them to call just to ask you how you doing.
Right. Or it's just like even with food, like it's supplement, right?
My boy hungry.
No, that's a part too. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am. But here's the thing: if we take in everything that we want to have, nothing's good gonna come out of it.
Right.
Like I said with food, we know food is a supplement, right?
Right.
But if you keep eating that trashy food, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna do something to your body.
Right.
You know, diabetes, bad stomach. So like you don't want the bad egg. It's gonna make you gas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't want that. So a lot of times that we get in our mindset is that Joe Blow is supposed to support me.
Right.
Right. Because he's my spouse or she's my cousin or that's my sister. But you got to realize sometimes God might be protecting you from the Judas that you didn't even know you were supposed to have.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. You better watch it. You better watch it. Some people are not there for you.
Right.
They're not there for you. And that's fine. Because you can still make it to your purpose. As a matter of fact, some of those people that are not for you will be the ones who actually get you to your purpose.
Exactly. They get to watch.
They dragging your name behind your back, didn't realize who they was talking to had your opportunity in their hand. And they wanted to know a little bit more about you because your Judas then went over here and got 30 shekels of coins just to hang you, didn't realize his hanging you was going to lift you up. I don't know.
Get this, Doc. So, like, when I be doing my thing at the job, and they be like, why you do that to so-and-so? And I be like, ain't no publicity like free publicity,
man.
So you know what I mean. And when you interact or you engage that bad person, it's supposed to be that way. Right. It's supposed to be that way. They're not supposed to give you support. Right. Because they gonna come back and like you said, they're gonna get a word of mouth out to whoever. Right. And it might come in a negative manner, but guess what? It can't.
And it's going to spark that curiosity.
Exactly.
They going to drop their name.
Because you got to realize if somebody talking bad about you all the time, you who they want to be like. You who they want to be like. They woke up with you on their mind. And guess what? I like that though, because I tell them, have it on your mind, mama.
Ain't nobody that's high, see themselves higher than you. Ain't nobody that see themselves doing better than you. Got your name in their mouth all the time. It's always that person that don't feel like they doing better than you, even though they may have more finances than you, right? Even though they may be in a marriage relationship and you single, but you still happy. Even though they may look like they doing better, they don't feel like they doing better because they see your joy, they see your happiness, and
or the vice versa. You the chick that's having a struggle in your marriage, and then she free. She get to tell you about all the positive things she's doing. I'm tripping. Man. Guess what, baby? It's a trip. It's a con. But it ain't. Guess what? The bad thing is, ain't nobody there.
Because after all that trip, bed still cold.
It's cold.
She still wants somebody to hold. He still wants somebody to talk to. I don't care what nobody say. You can't trick me into thinking that your situation better than mine. I don't have time enough to sit up there and think about your situation as much as I got to think about mine anyway. Exactly. I got stuff that I need to do in my life, and we got to get out of the constraint of lack of support. Because some people just not go support you. Now, let me ask you this. We ain't getting into it now. Let me ask you this. I know y'all finna go ham now, but look, y'all be Okay, let me get the comments out the way. Donshell say that's when you detach so God can do his job.
Right.
Release the blessing blockers. You gotta release your blessing blockers. I know that's right. That's good stuff. Release the blessing blockers. I like that. Shoot, sometimes you gotta release them. Jesus released Judas. He said, "Do whatever you go do and do it fast.
Right.
Don't waste no more time. I gotta release you right now. This is your season of release."
Yeah, for sure.
I know that's right. I like that, Donshell. Niggas say, bro, spoiler alert, they are not going to give you the support. They weren't meant to go there with you anyway. I know that's right.
Exactly.
Say, everybody that's with you now won't be with you later. You got to take somebody. Some people come to your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You got to be able to distinguish the three.
Right.
And that's fine. You know, everybody that's there ain't going to be there with you. And that's cool. They had a great personality. They had a great character. They made you laugh. Man, but that's not where God's taking you.
Right.
And you can't take a comedian with you in some of the serious situations that you're going to have to deal with in your future.
Right.
They always downsizing stuff and downsizing situations. They can't be diverse. Some people can't even be diverse. They so hood that when they go into a situation where they supposed to be casual,
right, they don't know how.
They don't even know how.
They don't know how.
Bro, where the Ford is at? Nah, bro, they got glasses. They got glasses of champagne.
Look,
B.
Speaking of that situation, bro, I was at the fight. We in the box suite.
Yeah.
Somebody stood up and said, "Let me bet $50." I said, "This is not a $50 place, bro. Where are you? This not $50 place.
5,000.
Man, I'm just saying.
5,000.
You gotta know your situation.
If he would have said 5,000, we would have entertained.
Right, I can understand
that. $50 in the box suite.
Yeah, that's no way.
This ain't, you gotta know where you at.
You gotta know where you at.
For real.
You gotta know who you dealing with.
Yeah, you gotta know who we with too.
Yeah.
Some people just not meant to go with us everywhere, and that's good. That's crazy though, but that's good, man. But say, check this out. If you could think of one constraint in your relationship, what would it be? What would it be? If you could think over your relationships right now and think of one thing that constrains you, what would that be?
Hey, I'm gonna keep saying it again. I think it's ideology, because a lot of times what people be telling you when you getting ready to separate from your mate, draw a line and then go over the pros and the cons, and if the cons is over the pros, then maybe it's time for you to step out of your relationship, right? But you had to realize though, in our people, we all got faults, right?
Right.
Everybody got something negative about them. Like, it might be your feet, your hands might be dirty. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I think everybody got something that I might not like, or you might exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your nose might be eye shaped. I don't know. I'm just saying though. I think that we get out of it. We get constrained, right? That we thinking that our partner or whoever you dealing with ain't supposed to have no imperfection, no flaw.
Right.
Everybody got them.
And it may not be perfect, but they perfect for you.
Exactly.
And you may not be perfect, but you perfect for them.
Right.
I done seen some odd couples.
Right.
I'm be honest with y'all. It was some couples I looked at and say they was made for each other. they were definitely made for each other.
Right.
And you done did it too. Don't look at me like I'm the only one that did that. Y'all done did that too. Like, yep, I can see that. Yeah, they came out the womb together. I bet money they wasn't but 2 seconds apart.
Right.
I'm telling you, some people were just made for each other. And you look at them and hey, don't be mad at them because you haven't found your mate. But one of the most important one of the most important constraints in relationships is believed to be. I believe it to be too, but it is an opinion because we do not say that everything we speak on here is a fact. This is all a perspective of our own. Right. Let me put that out there. Let me put that disclaimer out there. We are not spitting facts. We spitting opinions that make sense to us. That's why we ask y'all to comment on our stuff, because we want y'all opinion too. We want y'all perspective, because that's a good perspective that Donshell just gave me. That's a great perspective that Nikki just gave me. She said, adapt to your surroundings. Oh, she code switching. Donshell code switching. Donshell, I see you code switching, girl. You know what that is. I hope you know what that is. I don't want you to take it in a negative way, but everybody code switches. I didn't know what it was until we did an actual show about code switching. It's exactly that, adapting to your surroundings. Odd couple, yeah, Nikki, there are some odd couples. There is some odd couples. But hey, I don't care what nobody say, they was meant for each other. Right. I see some couples arguing sometimes, and I be like, what they fighting for?
And they probably be something
petty, but they in a whole full-blown argument, they're separated, don't even want to sit by each other during the whole situation. Then by the time they get out the show, they act like ain't nothing ever happened.
That's a constraint.
It's odd, but it happens. That's on them. Hey, it happens in relationships. But one of the main constraints in relationships is believed to be communication.
I think that's the main thing. Because if you can't communicate how you feeling, and how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
But a lot of us look at it as restraints. Like it's holding us back and we can't get any further. But it's not a restraint, it's a constraint, it's just a barrier.
Right. Because it's how you perceive it. Because if that's the case, open your mouth.
Open your mouth. Some of y'all need to close.
Oh my God.
I ain't just talking about women either. I'm talking about men too.
Man.
Brother, you would have probably never got in trouble had you just shut up.
Right.
But you got yourself in trouble because you opened your mouth too fast. She didn't even know how you felt about the situation.
Right.
But because you thought you knew, you opened your mouth at the wrong time. And communication is not always speaking. So communication actually involves knowing when to be quiet.
That's true.
That's good communication. Sometimes you got to know when to shut up.
Right.
Shoot, and some of us, we don't know when to shut up. But some of us don't know when to talk. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. It's 3 men on here. We got plenty of women on here. I want to know, is in an argument a good time to shut up? When is having an argument, what time in an argument is a good time to shut up?
Man, that's powerful.
My mouth can be my worst enemy sometimes.
Ooh-wee.
Lord have mercy.
Especially for, I'm just going to throw this.
That's my testimony.
I think my mindset is it's definitely a weapon for a woman because, man, she'll start jugging in places you ain't like, oh, I didn't know you felt like that. Like, stop talking about my mama. You know what I mean? I'm serious though, cause you got something like that. I'm not saying it's happened to me. I'm just saying I done seen it in situations.
He said, I said it happened to me. I ain't going home to this conversation.
No, I'm just saying I done seen it in situations.
I know that's right. What about you, Tua? You don't know? Yeah, you know. We're going to give you a little time to meditate on it. I want to know, when is a good time for some, y'all dropping gems? Yeah, I'm trying to drop them gems off that shit because there is a good time to be quiet.
Right.
There is a good time to be quiet.
But they go both ways, too, for a man and a woman.
It does. But see, we got to be under the understanding of when we at that point. And see, if you keep on looking at it as a restraint instead of a constraint, then we'll always look at it as a con because it'll trick us into thinking that we can't go no further because you wasn't raised in the house where you seen communication.
Right.
You didn't come from a background where people actually communicated effectively. Not that they just communicated, but they didn't communicate effectively.
That's key though, because some people they communicate, it ain't effective.
It's impactful.
Man, you be in the back like they always argue. They're mad at life.
They ain't got nowhere with it. They still argue about the same thing from 2 years ago. How you still mad about something that happened 2 years ago? Maybe because the communication hasn't been effective.
Right.
It hasn't made anything move. It hasn't made anything shift.
But I think you got to break that down though.
What you got?
I'm saying I don't let myself get to the arguing part. It shouldn't get to that serious where it's an argument. So when is a good time to be quiet?
So first
we gotta argue.
I can dig that. That. We can try to avoid that, but what you got to realize is arguments are not necessarily bad.
Right.
We've made them bad in our community because most of the arguments we see, people are hollering,
and it becomes physical,
cussing, calling people out their name, and then we call it an argument. Other than that, we just talking. No, an argument is just a disagreement put in words. And so you can have an argument with somebody without yelling. You can have an argument with somebody without calling them out their name. An argument is just simply we trying to find a middle ground.
Right.
That's all the argument is. We trying to find a middle ground. And don't discontinue an argument because of how you perceive an argument to be. Okay, now if you're getting out of line, then that's a volatile situation.
Right.
That's what that is.
But even then, okay, Twan, I'm going to say this. When you said, I don't ever let myself get to the point where I'm in an argument, but you still got to create some type of boundary. Because one thing we know about people, especially when they say, you got domineering people and aggressive people, if you get them a lane, they going to take it.
Boy.
They going to take it. So if I made the situation, if I've created a space where I know, let's just say like dominant people, and they walk up, they know they can handle you, they going to keep handling you. So you got to communicate that like, look, Doc, I'm positive, or you know what I'm saying, I'm kind, or I'm prudent, but I ain't friendly. You know what I'm saying? Or that, I might be acceptable to certain situations, but I'm not agreeing to everything.
Right.
You don't want to be a yes man or to men or women or just in any relationship you have.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not going that way.
So passe, when it's getting out of control and seeing things to hurt one another, that's definitely
exactly. That's what I said. We get the jugging. You get the jugging too hard.
Women. I think women actually start that out because they frustrated about the fact that he ain't getting it. So I'm gonna piss him off. And then I will be good. Shoot, I don't know. Y'all help me.
Have you ever realized that a woman she can display an amount of intelligence in 2.2 seconds?
Right.
It be witty and it be ugly and witty at the same time.
Yeah. It be sharp.
It be ugly and witty at the same time.
Cut deep too.
Did she just say that?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she did. She'll say when nobody's point is able to be heard or understood. Silence.
It ain't a conversation.
Right.
Then.
Right.
It's
Don't talk over me. Don't you talk over me.
Yelling match.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
She'll say, I was taught to think before speaking. I wonder how you learned that, Dunshell. Can you tell me how you learned how to think before speaking? I wonder if that was through experience. Who taught you that? I want to know, because I know your sign. I know you're Virgo. I want to know how you learned that. And I also know some words you can't apologize for once the smoke clears. I'm trying to tell you.
Exactly.
Boy, y'all to be sitting up in there, and you looking at them like, yeah, I said it. And they looking at you like, man, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
We good, though.
Never forget it.
But dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have forgave you, but I ain't forgot about it.
Oh, it'll pop up in the next argument.
Exactly.
Believe me, it'll pop up in the next argument.
Look, I'm gonna throw this disclaimer out here. I think men especially, like we take on them type of, real hard.
Yeah.
Like, man, she said that about me, man, I'm trying to get my mojo back or X, Y, and Z. Or then, like he said, when y'all have that disagreement next time, you bring it up.
Yeah.
See, I knew you was like that because you said that the last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You be having that on your mind.
Yeah.
Even women do it too. Women, when you say something to a woman, it be like, shoot, just say anything. Like, you can't cook anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And let y'all get into it next time. You talk about you home.
Oh, she stopped cooking.
Last time you said I couldn't cook anyway. Better go find your butt something to eat.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, it get rough, man. So you gotta be careful when the communication is very, very, when you talking at each other and not with each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
I think I am always right. So now, Nikki.
Yeah, that's what
we gonna pray for you. We gonna pray for you, Nikki.
Typical.
He talking about typical. We gonna pray for you, Nikki, because I don't know how true that is. We gonna pray for you because we are definitely not always right. But I know everybody feel like they right in a situation.
Exactly.
Everybody feel like they right in a situation. Let me say that, Nikki. Before y'all look at Nikki like that.
Most of the time, I be feeling like I'm right.
Right, I think we all do though, because it's your perception of the argument. So you're gonna be like, "Well, I got some positive facts I'm gonna bring to this, and this is what I got."
Right,
and it's meaningful, and it don't be.
But
So
I'm always coachable too, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always able to.
You gotta be that way.
You gotta be that way, even especially in relationships. A lot of times we leave the coachable stuff at the job or in the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Not realizing that woman can coach you way better than that coach can on how to treat a woman. You going to the coach talking about, man, I got into it with my woman, and this, that, and the other. And the coach gonna give you his way of dealing with his woman.
Know how to lose your.
You gonna go home and try to use the coach's way on how he deal with his woman on your woman, and y'all into it again.
Look, I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this. I think what a woman don't really realize, that a lot of women, or just in your spouse period, that we don't realize that how impactful and meaningful you are to a situation.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody gonna motivate you like your woman would.
I'm telling you.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes, don't get twisted. Of course, men, especially how they attach to their mamas. Mama is mama, but like when it's something different when your woman breathe that type of life, and you can't go out there and do X, Y, and Z. I know you can do it, man. You gotta be jacked up.
You got me hyped just thinking about it.
It's all the confidence you need.
Yeah, man. Say, boss man, I need that money. I need it now.
You know what I mean?
I need it now.
Don't you hold on too long.
Man, I can't come back home.
You told your boss, I'm gonna have your job.
Say, there was a woman preaching to him. It was a woman speaking to him. Man. Just the thought of my wife just encouraging me like that make me want to go out there and do something.
Don't you come back without that bag.
I'm finna go cut down this tree with a butter knife. You hear me? I'm cutting this tree down with this butter knife. I don't care what nobody say. She said I can do it.
Yeah, facts.
You hear me? But that's how you got it. Communication is so important, but effective communication actually breeds to a great relationship.
Yeah.
It actually is the result of a great relationship, effective communication. Number two, we got to get out of here. Number two, one of the other constraints is intimacy. Intimacy. So we just talked about arguments, communication. How you gonna have intimacy if you got bad communication?
Right, that can be a constraint.
One dude, he told me we was at a therapy thing, right? Me and my wife. He said you got to be leery of couples that never argue,
because it ain't no feeling in it.
Because a couple that never argues have no intimacy in it.
Yeah, there ain't no feeling in it.
are you passionate about anything that goes on?
Right.
Like you cannot have a relationship and not have at least a few arguments a week. Like few disagreements. It's cool. It doesn't mean you're in an unhealthy relationship. An unhealthy relationship is one that has too many arguments or doesn't have any.
Oh, and it could be like to where the communication is only one sided.
Right.
Guess what? Guess one thing people know. If you keep hitting at a brick, you gotta know that it ain't no feeling there.
No.
It ain't no feeling.
No.
Quinn, if you steady arguing to him, telling him how he's supposed to do X, Y, and Z, baby, that man don't want to be there.
Right.
You don't want to be there. You just for the time being.
Right. And sometimes, intimacy has to be something that we have to sit there and talk about. We have to get intimate with each other. Intimacy is not just bed performance.
No, it ain't.
It's actual dealing with each other on a whole nother level. Intimacy is actually going into your purpose sometimes, not in my purpose all the time.
Right.
Because sometimes I got to go into your purpose. That's intimacy. I'm going into you and seeing you.
Right.
For what you are. I want to see why you have these thoughts. I want to see what you smiling for. What's in that book? Let me read that book.
No,
with you.
for real though, because like I remember back my hey dad, tell me I make love every day. One thing about a man, just in this situation, you got to know in a relationship, women, especially just in women in general, it's not what you did to them, it's how you made them feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to make things. You got to put in the work. You got to create that type of effort.
Right.
She like red velvet cookies. Just pop up now every day.
Right.
Say, babe, I got them tip treats for you.
Right. Right, and so you got to get around it. We got to learn how to, do stuff in our relationships in order to be intimate with one another.
Right.
And sometimes it's actually creating the atmosphere of intimacy.
Right.
A lot of us don't create the atmosphere of intimacy. As a woman, as a man, you got to create the atmosphere of intimacy. This would actually release that constraint that you feel on your relationship when it comes to intimacy.
Right.
Don't always create an atmosphere of, shoot, you home? All right, let me just do what I need to do so I can go to bed. Right. No, that means you
don't want to do
it. You don't want to do nothing really. You didn't want to cook. You didn't want to. You wasn't happy about doing anything for me. You just did it out of.
That's a sense of duty.
Yeah, it's not even out of love. I got it. I'm obligated.
Yeah,
no, you're not obligated to do nothing. And you got to quit looking at it as an obligation, because if you look at it as that, it becomes a constraint.
Right.
Man. Don't look at the bills as an obligation. Look at it as an opportunity to cover your wife. Look at it as an opportunity to cover your children. Look at it as an opportunity to feed your wife or feed your children. These are all opportunities that everybody isn't rewarded with.
Right.
Agreed. And so you got to do that in intimacy. Another one is constraint on relationships. And this is a big one. I'm just going to let y'all know this is a big one. Finances. Finances. You gotta deal with the finance area. Yeah, I know it.
It's a tough situation. Only reason why I say that is because I'm gonna just keep it a break with you. I feel like, especially in our ethnicity, like you gotta know, like we at the bottom of the barrel, especially with me.
Yeah.
When it come into having finances, because like let's just be real. Like a lot of times we're not the one that they actually want to be in that type of position, or because we struggle with a lot of things on how to communicate, on how to dress, things of that nature. Like, so that's why mentoring is definitely a key component in actually building up your community.
Right.
But I think for the most part it's like I even just going back prior to there, I said we drown in our own mediocrity.
Right.
So we become average because we think average is at its best.
Acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if I come in and I get a blue collar job, or if I come in and this $19, well, I'm trying to give a median now, but let's say $15. This $15 is where I'm gonna be, and then that it depends on who you around, because that might be a lot to everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For some people, that may be some good money.
Exactly.
And even for people who are humble, that's good money. I mean,
for
especially
sure,
for starting out.
Right.
For me, I look at $15 because I come from a time when I started working. When I first started working, I was making $7.15.
Exactly.
So you making making almost $8 more than what I was making. I'm like, shoot, that's
I'm
good
gonna be
stuff.
honest. Like even my situation, like when I came out of Navy, all they had to offer when I came home in 2008, and it was right in the middle of the recession.
Right.
All I had the opportunity of getting was a security job. It was like $9 an hour.
Yeah.
I feel so low just even taking that job, but I wanted to work.
Right.
I ain't lazy.
Right.
But I was like, man, this is all I came back home. I got out of the military for this.
Right.
This is not enough.
It's messed up.
Exactly.
It creates a constraint on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now you're tricking yourself into thinking that it's not enough when all you got to do is budget better.
Right. Or
Wow.
or you gotta have those. Like I said, sometimes I just feel like, you know, depending on who you with, you know, they can actually build you up, or even create a different type of mindset.
Right.
Like, just even in my situation, mom was like, dude, why would you not apply for those extra jobs that, you know? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. She was like, dude, they gotta train you anyway. Smart guy, and you know what I mean. It changed my perception of, oh, well, I'm gonna start clicking on these.
True.
It is what it is.
But
It's
we
either
get
yay or
those
nay.
constraints.
Exactly.
And it creates static in our relationship. Now we going home thinking that we ain't bringing home enough.
Right.
So now we don't feel appreciated when we really are appreciated,
Right.
because she appreciates the little bit that you bringing home, or he appreciates the little bit that you bringing home, but you so insecure what you bringing
Right.
home, and it becomes a constraint.
Or you dealing with the wrong one, and she bring that.
I ain't saying she a golden.
Yeah, she bring that type of energy.
She ain't messing with no. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get with those people, and I'm gonna just say people, because it could be man or woman. But you got to get with those people who will help you budget.
Right.
Like, okay, this is what we can do, and this is what we can't do. But if we do it like this, we good. You got to get with those people like that who will actually help you balance that.
Or it's just like I said, even with the ideology, like, you got to get with somebody or just around people that's gonna build their perception that, dude, you are capable of doing anything that you can set your mind to.
Right.
Why not you?
Right.
Why can't I?
Right.
You know, I used to tell my friend that all the time. That's the type of mentality I got.
Right.
Why not me? Why can't I?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What he saying? Oh my. Ain't nothing like hearing I.
I'm telling you, you hear it out of the podcast. Another one, constraint on relationships is lack of creativity.
That's tough.
Lack of creativity. You just get sick and tired of doing the same old stuff because you ain't got no creativity. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a very spontaneous person. I love to do different stuff. I just like to try stuff. You got to try stuff in relationships. You have to try stuff and do stuff different. That's just the way it has to be.
Oh my
you
God.
keep on doing the same stuff, eventually that's gonna get old, and they gonna be wondering, dang, that's all you got? You ain't read no
Is this
books.
the pinnacle?
You ain't read no books. You ain't watched
my
no
God.
no relationship podcast or seminars or anything. You don't want to build with me, like you want to just stay right here.
That's tough.
And you get a valid mindset in a relationship, and that's the worst place to get a valid mindset
That's
in
true.
a relationship.
That's true.
Because valid mindsets in relationships keep y'all stagnant.
Right, but you got, and just to piggyback on what you said, I think you got to be creative just in every facet, like especially intimacy though. Like your dates got to be different. Make her want to make. Well, that's just on both parties though, because I think a lot of times that we set the mindset that the man has to do something. Sometimes you get up and get dressed, but like, this where we going today, babe.
Right.
He might not be that romantic type, but you might build something into it, like where he got to be like, well, I got to keep up. She just did this. Let me go do the horse and carriage on this day, just to make her feel good. You know what I mean?
Right, and that helps. So definitely creativity. The last thing we got on here, because we got to get out of here, I just want to go ahead and run through these in the relationship. I hate we had to do the relationship part so fast, because the relationship part is actually really good. Got a lot of notes. Y'all really will love these relationship constraints. Just know that once you take the strain out of constraints, all you got is a con. These ain't nothing but tricks that are formed against you. And if you don't look at them as a barrier, keep on looking at them as a restraint, something that's locking you down and stopping you from getting there, you'll never ever try to get there. You won't have the motivation to wake up in the morning to change your situation. You won't have the mindset to change your situation. Your vision will always be blurry because you see it the wrong way. So the last thing is wrong friends in relationships. Constraints.
Yeah. They say birds of a feather flock together.
You cannot have the wrong people knowing your business in your relationships. I don't care what nobody say. I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all can testify, especially y'all women on here. Y'all can testify that when you let the wrong person in your business became a weapon that was formed against you from their mouth. You cannot have the wrong friends in your relationship. It becomes a constraint.
Well, for sure though, because there's no ceiling. You might have already reached the ceiling inside the circle. Like, that's why you got to hang around like-minded individuals. I'm not saying not to throw away your day ones, because that's not the truth. You might be the one that actually uplift everybody else. But what I'm saying is, if you look to your left and your right, and everybody not on the same train, well, not everybody, because everybody's not gonna be on the same train. You got different type of people and different type of personalities in circle. But if you don't have nobody that has the same type of mentality around you, it ain't gonna never be. You're not gonna never grow into who God has for has God meant for you to be, because you get stagnant, because there's no looking up.
Right.
There's no looking
one,
up.
you can't have a marriage vision and be hanging around people with only single visions.
Right, that's true.
You can't have a married vision and just be hanging around people who only see singleness as happiness.
For sure.
They don't want to get married. They too busy. They busybody. They running around doing this, that, and the other. Or you can't be around people who in marriages and you married. And they in a marriage and they doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they encouraging you, say, man, I don't see how you be with that. I done had people say it to me. I don't see how you be with that one woman, man. You been with that woman all this time.
Right.
You only got one of them, man. Shoot, I got me about 2, 3 of them running around here. I say, boy, that's why you always
ragged, running ragged.
I don't entertain certain stuff because it's just not for me.
Right.
I mean, what you do is what you do, but that's just not for me. I make sure I put constraints on certain things,
right,
when it comes to certain stuff. But I also make sure that I don't let my friends be a constraint to my marriage,
right, or just your perception in general. Because you know how you look at things, or how they, like you said, if you're around everybody and they all single, guess what you're gonna do? Eventually, you're gonna start looking at it, oh, I want to be like them,
Right, and so because they lifestyle gonna look good, they gonna make it look real good until they get alone. And see, you can't see what they do alone,
exactly.
Because when they get alone, they break down. Like, when you go send me somebody, Lord, you know they
right.
Lord, I just need somebody. Ooh, I wish I had somebody to drink this wine with. I don't know if y'all ever drunk wine alone, but sometimes that is the loneliest feeling in the world when you want somebody to just have conversation with.
Right.
All your friends busy. You know, everybody go. You all by yourself and you smoking that good kush. You wish you had somebody to smoke that good kush with. You ain't never been right there. I done been right there before. I don't smoke the good kush before. I was smoking no more, but I done smoked it before. And I remember when I had the solo dolos. Sometimes I wanted the solo dolo, but there was time when I wanted to. I wish I had somebody to.
And you know what's ironic though is especially like with married couples. I heard it and see it all the time. It's like your best conversation that you gonna have with it be your companion.
Man,
like, it ain't nothing like talking to your old lady or your husband when you done came home from a long day of work and you gotta tell. Ain't nobody gonna feel the same way you feel unless, you know what I mean, only connected to your situation like your wife and your husband is. Especially if you dealing like a bad boss or just a irritating coworker or something. Like, you be like coworker with the dirty mouth with the stank breath. Ain't nobody gonna know like you know. You know what I mean?
And they gonna be in agreement with you because they go feel your energy. Married couples automatically gravitate to each other energy when they don't want to accord.
Exactly.
But it only happens when you release all the constraints off of you. Then you can have those conversations that be like, man, I had to talk with baby girl last night.
Man.
You had that talk with baby girl that you don't even want nobody to know you talked to her about. You like, shoot, I ain't telling nobody about this conversation. It's between me and baby girl. Shoot, we had a good conversation this between me and baby boy. Shoot, we had a good conversation last night. Or it's not even, y'all not even married. Y'all just got a chemistry.
Right.
I'm not encouraging shacking, nothing like that. But, you know, we all have that. Everybody, look, don't feel bad about it. Everybody done probably did it. You hear me? I'm not one that didn't do it. Regardless of what anybody talking about, we all did something. Everybody got something. But you got that particular person that you got a chemistry with, and y'all can lay there and have pillow talk all night long.
That's a different type of companionship.
You got to watch out because, you know, if you don't really know that person on the other side of that pillow, your pillow talk might be public conflict.
Right.
And pillow talking cover. But that was good stuff. We were talking about constraints versus restraints. You got to know that your constraints can sometimes be looked at as restraints. And I'm trying to get y'all out of that mindset tonight, trying to get y'all on another mindset to realize that constraints ain't nothing but barriers.
Right.
And anything dealing with a barrier is something that you can get over. It's something that you can get around. It's just going to take some effort. It's going to take some strength.
You got to do some work.
But if you remove the strength out of constraint, then what you got?
You got a con.
You got a con, Doc. It's a trick. It's only there to make you think that you can't get past it. You can get past communication. You can get past lack of resources. You can get past lack of information. You can get past lack of exposure. You can get past lack of opportunities.
And you know, the great thing about it is all those lacks that you said, if you actually did the work, all of them, they'll tie in together. When communication brings network.
Right.
It's going to bring exposure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause everybody going to get to talking about it. But you got to do the work.
Right.
You got to get out of it.
You got to get out of that mindset that you cannot. I mean, Cain died when Cud was born. You should have seen Cain's face when Cud was born. Cain passed out and didn't wake up because Cud was born. And Cud is born today. Could just got born in your life. It just birthed in your living room, in your car, at your job, wherever you at. Could just was birthed all around you. I want you to put in the chat today. Today, could was born in my life. I just birthed could in my perception. I just birthed could in my mindset, because you can do whatever God has called you to do. I guarantee it. All you gotta do is change your perspective.
That's it.
Change the way you're looking at it. Yeah.
Like when you think about it, this is just my thought. When we do tend to grasp a hold to the con part, you can take the acronym of that CON, con, can't operate negative.
Right. Right.
All right. Say, I told y'all.
It should be like a red, when you're in the red zone.
Hey, just bust that devil in the mouth. Bust that devil in the mouth. Can't operate negatively.
Yeah.
My God, that's a con.
Yeah.
That's a con. Man, that's good stuff. Listen, I love what y'all did on here tonight. I just birthed could. I know that's right. See, I got some people riding me. Just birth it in your life. Could, because can't died when could was born.
Right.
Don't you let can't stay no longer.
Right.
Don't you let cannot stay in your life any longer than it should. If cannot is no longer existing in your life, you can move forward. Hey, y'all got any last words before we get out
I
here?
ain't got nothing, bro.
I can do it, you can do it.
I know that's right. Say,
well, you know what?
Get it.
Take that con out of constraint.
Yeah.
Be positive. You know, work on it. Work at getting that con out of constraint.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing gonna strain you. You gonna uplift yourself. Ain't nothing gonna hold you back.
Right. It may be a push. It may cause some pressure.
Right.
But go ahead and apply the pressure to your life that you looking for somebody else to apply. Baby, your mama, she ain't gonna do it for you. Your dad ain't gonna. If they ain't do it for you by now,
Right.
chances are if your friends ain't apply no pressure on that area that you looking for them to apply pressure for, they ain't gonna do it. It's for you to do.
Right.
What is some of y'all need to get up and go to that gym? Don't worry about it. I know y'all try to probably smack your lips. So I heard your voice. I heard your smacks through the podcast. I heard your smacks through my phone. Don't smack your lips. Don't turn your head. You probably looking at the food you eating right now like, Lord have mercy. Blessed Jesus. In Jesus' name. No, but you got to get out of the constraint area of your life, because constraints are just barriers meant to be broken.
Right.
Meant to be broken. Generational curses ain't nothing but constraints meant to be broken.
That's it.
Alcoholism meant to be broken. Thinking that you a whore meant to be broken. Thinking that you a pimp meant to be broken. Thinking that you a nigga meant to be broken. You are better than that. It's meant to be broken. The question is, will you break it?
Yeah.
Because every egg, every seed has to break through a shell.
Right.
Go ahead and become. Go ahead and become. I love y'all, man. It's your boy Shelvin, man.
It's Clee.
Your boy True.
102. Say, let me tell y'all something. I appreciate y'all for cruising through, chatting with us. Calvin gave us that look, but next week y'all come through and chat up. Hey, we talking about motives next week. Hidden motives next week. Okay. Hidden motives next week. Y'all be ready for hidden motives. It's going down. All right, bet. I see y'all later. All right, Calvin, we out of here, man. Don't look around the screen.